A lot of excitement over tittles. I hate to see what they do with a colon. How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
This is a great venue here. I was told there was good-looking crowds in Keokuk despite what's happening at this table. You want to know the toughest thing about being a pedophile? Just trying to fit in.
You've heard none of the stuff.
You know who my wife hates? She hates my girlfriend. I know you'd think they'd be over it. They've been sisters all their lives. No, I really love my wife. I tell a lot of jokes about her. And if she'd quit coming to my shows, I'd tell some funnier jokes about her.
Never.
She's like a fine wine. And by that I mean I'd like to put a cork in her. No, really, marriage is a deck of cards, you know. It's hard to keep together. You know, you might start out as a pair of hearts, maybe give her a diamond, you know, with any luck you're heading towards a full house. But after so many years, you just start praying for a club and spade to end it all. You want to hear something embarrassing?
Yeah.
My wife recently caught me masturbating. I forgot she was in the car. You know, remember when you were a kid, you really couldn't talk about masturbating, and now it's become more socially acceptable, despite what the manager at Hy-Vee tells me. Yeah, my doctor says that I'm going to have to find somebody to masturbate with, because he said that masturbating alone doesn't make up my daily exercise requirement. You know, it's real comforting when your wife tells you that you have soft, warm hands. Not so much when your priest tells you that, though. Yeah, I was born and raised Catholic. I've got the emotional scars to prove it. You know how you get a nun pregnant? You dress her up as the altar boy. You know what they call a sleepwalking nun? Roman Catholic. Yeah, I knew my priest was real suspect when first day of CCD class he told us not to call him father, he'd prefer daddy. You know, there was one altar boy that we were all jealous of, a kid named Joel. He got special privileges and treatment. Father Daddy referred to him as the new Jesus. I once asked him why, and he said, a boy that sweet's worth a second coming. I always thought it was funny that a church that's so against gay people finds all their forgiveness in a little closet. You know the difference between a priest and a zit? The zit will wait till you're a teenager to come on your face.
That one took a little.
I can give you a little more time with some of these if you need it. This table here seems to be a joke behind. So.
That was funny, boy.
Do you know the difference between weed and pussy? If you can smell it from across the room, it's probably good weed. Do you know the difference between a bag of cocaine and a toddler? Eric Clapton's never dropped a bag of cocaine out the window. I recently discovered the cause of insanity.
Oh, you're gonna like it.
And just bear with me on this one. It's going to surprise a lot of you, but it's the vagina.
We love
Vagina causes almost all insanity, if you think about that. Everybody you know that has one, and you'll admit it, is a little bit crazy. And every time you see some guy out on the corner doing the stupidest thing you've ever seen. Craziest shit. I bet if you go up and ask him why he's doing it, he'll tell you, well, there's this girl with a vagina and I'm hoping she's going to show it to me. And, you know, and who's the happiest people we know? Happiest people on the planet are gay guys. It's because they never ever think about a vagina. never crosses their mind. And the most miserable person you'll ever meet's a lesbian because she's always worried about two vaginas. You know, it's like God created man and he says, I can do better. So then he created a woman and he said, oh, that's over the top. So then he creates a gay guys and he says, yeah, that's about it. But I better create some lesbians, teach them all how to build stuff. I once had a friend who taught his dog, told me, he goes, I taught my dog how to lick peanut butter off my balls. And I say I used to have a friend because he hasn't talked to me since I stole the dog. You know how much somebody likes you by how much embarrassment they'll tolerate, or how much of anger they cause when they embarrass you. You know, when a total stranger embarrasses you, you know, you're walking in the grocery store and the sign says pull on the door and you try to push it and they smack you out of the way and say, look out, jackass. You want to kill that person, you don't even know him. You hunt him down and beat the shit out of him. But when a relative embarrasses you, you just kind of got to take it and say, yeah, that's my relative. Here's a fine example. When my granddaughter was 3 years old, we're in Walmart. And you know, she's at that age where we're teaching her new words and she's learning conjunctions, that when she hears this word usually follows. You know, and she's doing pretty good at that, and she's misbehaving over in the toy section, screaming for something that I'm not going to get her. And I told her, I said, if you don't sit down and behave in that cart, I'm going to spank your butt. Well, as loud as she could across the store, she says, you can't touch my butthole. I said, good use of a conjunction, but you better be quiet or Papa's going to get arrested. I took her down to the local record store, and they had a poster of the Nirvana album. I don't know if you've ever seen this Nirvana album. It has a baby swimming in the pool, naked, chasing a dollar bill. And as we go up to the counter, ringing up our purchase, she points to the poster and she says, Papa, that boy has a penis and money. And the guy at the counter gives me a weird look, and I said, hey, she knows what she wants. Well, that kind of embarrassment, you got to kind of take it, you know. But I know that my wife really, really loves me because I embarrassed the hell out of her on our honeymoon, and most people would have just walked out after that shit. But it's our honeymoon night, and we're partying and having a good time in our hotel room. And they were supposed to give us the honeymoon suite, but they didn't. They gave us one with a couple queen-size beds in it. And just for fun, I tell my wife, hey, watch this. And I take off running across the room, and I dive in the air over one bed, landing on the other bed.
Yeah.
And when I hit that bed, there's this huge crash. And then a second later, there's a boom, 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 as the bed falls down and collapses onto the floor. So here's the embarrassing part. The next morning, one of us is going to have to go to the front desk and tell them that the bed is broken in our room.
Thank you, honey.
And you can guess who that one was. All red-faced and sheepish, I stood as far behind her as I could. And she tells them, we're going to go into the city today. Could you have our bed fixed before we come back? And they say, sure, we'll get right on that. Realizing we'd forgot something in the room, we turn around and run back to the room. And by the time we get to the room, there's a little Mexican, Guatemalan, non-English speaking man who already has the bed standing up against the wall. And on the floor, where the bed used to be, is a box about 3 feet long, which has a dildo in it that is bigger than my forearm. And that man, he looks at that box, stares right at it, and then he stares at my wife, and then he looks at the box, and then he looks at my wife again.
True fucking
And one more time at the box, and by now she's, fuck no, that ain't mine, and we backed out of the room, and she stayed with me, so apparently she wasn't too embarrassed.
That's still up for debate.
Well, the night ain't over.
Thank you, Robert.
Someone did, but someone did.
Like I said, I'm still looking for that club and spade. You ever notice how the Coke in a can tastes nothing like the Coke in a baggie? You don't want to know what's missing from kids these days? It's gratitude. Here's a good example. When my kids grew up and moved out, I gave the neighbor kid their trampoline. I took the trampoline over to the neighbor's house, set it up in the backyard, put the safety net around it, got the neighbor kid, put him on it, showed him how to jump, and all he did was bitch and whine. I hate this thing. It's ugly. I don't like it at all. This is no fun. Put me back in my wheelchair. Just no gratitude. Speaking of dogs, my dog recently attacked the neighbor woman, and it was pretty vicious. I mean, it was really, really bad. So bad that we had to put her down. And now I have to find a place to bury her, somewhere where the dog can't find her. I recently started myself an OnlyFans page to make some extra money. So far I only got one viewer, and it's my neighbor. He watches through the curtains. I could close them, but I like the audience feedback. Do you know why broccoli's a lot like anal sex? When you're forced to have it as a kid, you just don't like it as much as an adult.
He's so funny.
About 2 decades ago, our family dog died. And she was a golden lab. Got her when the kids were little. They named her Daisy. She's a beautiful yellow lab. And we raised her. She looked after the kids. She was real protective of them. And after they had moved out, she lived to be about 20. And it was a real cold winter. It was 20 below zero. And she died, and I had to call and do Dad's duty of telling the kids that Daisy's passed away. And I asked them what they wanted me to do about it, and they said, we want you to bury her in Grandma's flower patch, the daisy patch. Well, it's fucking 20 below zero, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So I take the dog out to the flower patch, and I try to dig a hole. I mean, I try. The ground's so frozen, I don't think I got 4 inches deep before I broke the fucking shovel. Got a splinter in my hand, busted a finger, I think, tore my gloves open. Then it started to fucking snow. It's just a blizzard, snowing like crazy, 20 below zero. I was so fucking pissed off, I changed that dog's name to Dumpster, and I went home. Thanks, you guys have been great, man. With all the hate in the world, I want y'all to go home and love yourselves, and then wash your hands.
tell you what, I was very invested in that. I kept